it's Phil London, and today I'm going to show you some variations that you can do with a resistance ball. It's a very useful tool for mobility, core, strength, flexibility. You can even do plyometrics and strength training with it. Today I'm just going to show you some of the variations I might do if I have been training all day and I haven't had time to work out. So many people say, you work out all day. No, I actually watch people work out all day. Sometimes I demo. But since I've been home since quarantine, I've actually been very sedentary, and I'm trying to actually be better and more mindful about shutting off all the devices at night and just doing a little bit of a ball workout or something very soft and gentle with bands or toning balls. But I have been loving this tool lately, and it's relatively inexpensive that you can find all options on Amazon. Make sure you get a pump with it, but you can pick your color. You can get a stand if you want to. Also, it comes with exercises that you can follow along, like a wall chart that you can put up. So I find this to be actually a very useful tool, and I'm going to show you some of my favorite exercises. So let's start lying down on your back, and we'll do a hip release. We're going to relax our shoulders down our back. We're going to inhale, let the legs laterally rotate. Don't change your foot position. Don't bring your feet together, and then laterally rotate, and then slide the legs out. Rotate the legs back to center and drag it back in. Just a nice hip release, pull in those rib cage. That's actually something I have to work on. I have been noticing when I film, my ribs are popped out. It's like really hard for me, and so I have to work on that. Okay, rib cage placement is really important because it helps stabilize your entire core, your torso. Laterally rotate and slide it out. Slide the ribs down to the hips, feel, and then take it back to parallel and draw back in. Let's do 3 in the other direction. You can do as many of these as you like. Slide it out, laterally rotate it out, and drag it back in. You saw me doing this in a mobility routine a couple weeks ago on a Friday night, but I wasn't talking, so I thought I'd throw it in again. I'm moving through lateral and parallel just to get my hips released. This is usually taught one-legged, but I do like a 2-leg variation. But if you want a nice stability challenge, then you can do it one-legged at a time. And now let's add on some arm work. Inhale as you raise your arms to the ceiling and you straighten your legs. I am working in parallel. You can work in turnout if you want to. Inhale, raise your arms back to the ceiling, and exhale to return the arms back down to the floor. We'll do it again. Inhale to raise the arms to the ceiling. Exhale as you reach your arms over by your hairline, no further, because remember I talked about the popping ribs? If I bring my arms back here, my ribs are really going to pop open. Inhale to raise the arms to the ceiling, and exhale to return your arms back down to the floor. So usually I cue inhale to raise the arms to the ceiling. Exhale to reach the arms over by your hairline, no farther than where you want your hairline to be. Inhale, bring it back to center. Say that 10 times fast, and then return the arms back out. Okay, you can do this with your head up, but if you have neck issues, I wouldn't recommend a lot of unsupported head work. But if you want to, and it feels right to you, you can do it in flexion to aid and get a little bit more abdominal connection. And exhale. Drop back in. Now that you've rolled your legs out and in a couple of times, we're going to do a hip roll. But mind you, if you get a hamstring cramp, this is too aggressive for you on the ball. I'd recommend putting that ball in the stand and then just doing this with your feet flat on the floor. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, roll through an imprint, squeeze your glutes, roll your hips off the mat into your bridge. Inhale at the top of this move. And exhale, roll back down. Don't be surprised if the ball slides away and goes right to left and is all over the place at first. You're going to stabilize through the back of the legs and the hamstrings. Inhale. Exhale, roll through an imprint, squeeze your glutes, roll your hips off the mat into your bridge. Inhale, stay here at the top. And exhale, roll back down through each articulation of the spine through to your neutral. If you have enough stability, roll through an imprint, squeeze your glutes, roll your hips off the mat into your bridge. Inhale, raise those arms to the ceiling, and exhale, roll the spine away from the ears. Really firmly straighten the arms. I usually say don't lock your joints when you have heavy weights or you're in plank or something, but here you don't want to be an injured bird. You really want to firmly reach those arms. There's no load here. Okay, so hands down, roll through an imprint, squeeze your glutes, roll your hips off the mat into your bridge. Inhale, raise those arms up to the ceiling. And exhale, roll the spine back down through each articulation of the spine through to your neutral. You can do as many of those as you want. Today I'm just going to demo 4. Pause me if you want to do more. Next, we're just going to do some flexion and slide the legs out. We're going to exhale, flex it out. and then inhale to draw it back in. Pretty sure this is in my old video too. I'm pretty sure my hair is in a bun. Not much has changed since 2008. Exhale, press it out, and slide the ribs down to the hips. The way you would feel about pulling your pants up or tucking your shirt down, that's what you want to actually feel you do with your abs when you go into flexion. I usually don't cue a crunch or a push because it sounds so aggressive. We want to engage the abs into a working position. Stay right here. We're going to pulse up 8. Exhale 7, 6, 5. Exhale 4. Slide the ribs. 2 and 1. Inhale. And then bringing the right leg into tabletop. We'll do 3 pulses across to the right. We go exhale 3. Exhale 2, exhale 1, inhale, return. You're creating your own resistance. Is it harder to have the leg up? Yes, exhale, twist. But if you have an injury or you just want to be really mindful about your movement and feel good movement without like aggressively pushing, the ball is a great option. Exhale 3, exhale 2, exhale 1, and then return. Last one. Also, the full extension of the knee is the vastus medialis, the muscle that needs to be strengthened if you have got any knee issues. So that's a great exercise to do as well. Also, be careful not to lean when you're trying to rotate. Okay, switch sides. Exhale, we pulse 3. Exhale 2. Exhale 1, and then return. Exhale, go 3. Make sure to rotate right oblique to the left knee. And 1. Return. Exhale 3. Moms who have had babies, they have rectus diastasis, and they don't want a heavy load by picking up that leg. This is a nice slide out option. Just avoid that rotation right after you have the baby. I would wait 3 to 6 months before you rotate. Exhale 1, and then take it back to center. Okay, it's a lot of information, but you can play this video again. You could pause or mute as well, and then return. Okay, one of my favorites is coming next. I literally will do like 100 of these at night. Not first when quarantine started, but now I am definitely feeling the itch to get moving again. So I'm going to do this one, really focus on the ribs because my ribs want to pop out as soon as the load gets more aggressive to my legs. But our hands are going to be down by your sides. We're going to inhale, prepare. We're going to exhale, lengthen the legs up. Flex the feet. You'll get a nice stretch through the hamstring. Of course, if you need more stability, your hands can be down by your sides. And exhale. Now, although I'm looking at you for camera and video purposes, it is really ideal for you to just watch the exercise and mimic the sounds of my voices. If you need to stop or look a little bit, that's fine. But try not to get in the habit of looking at the camera the entire workout. Do you see how you could get neck strain from that? Over time, it's just you're training the muscles in an unneutral position. Exhale 2. Good. And so the reason why I choose Pilates is because not only it really makes me feel better, makes me feel well, it increases my mood, it increases circulation, it improves flexibility. It does get me in shape the way I want my body to be. All I really have to do is do it. I can't not do it. Exhale 2, flex. And this quarantine is definitely challenging me and all of my clients to really focus on some of the exercises that we've actually forgotten about just because maybe we use the reformer all the time or we don't have balls in the group exercise room because they take up too much space. So these are things now that I used to do literally, and I have video proof of it, in 2008 that I'm bringing it back. Watch your shoulders from hiking up. Mine might be up because I get excited and I'm telling you guys things and I'm creating new brain connections because I'm excited to tell you, but make sure the shoulders are back and down, okay? And after all of those legs in tabletop position or up in the air, your hip flexors are really on fire. They're on. We don't really want that. So I'm going to get back into the glutes and I'm going to straighten out the legs and open up through the hips and slide the legs out. I call it a hamstring slide. And then draw it back in or a slide out and in. Okay, your palms still can be up and open or hands down by your sides. And then lower back down and go out and in. Now today I'm doing a lot of stability, so I don't have weights, but sometimes I hold weights and press them into the ground. I'm not showing that option today. And then lift and lower. But what I am going to show is that if you have more stability, you can slowly straighten out. I'm actually stabilizing on my shoulder blades and draw back in. I'm using the bones of my scapula and bridge up to hold my balance in place. And we're going to go out again. A little harder. You can see I'm definitely challenged with balance there, no doubt about it. Exhale, bridge. So this is a combo out and in. And if you, for some reason, have issues, like I'm going to be working with a client tomorrow who we need to keep her off her arm for a while. She has some tendonitis. So I said, when everybody else is doing plank, this is what I want you to do. If your arms are straight up, like let's pretend like you're in a bridge, right? You're just in a reverse bridge, okay? So it takes all the load off your arms, puts it into your core and legs, and it's fantastic. Hello, I'm going to be sending this to you in just a moment. Now we're going to pulse up. We're going to pulse 8. So I'm still keeping my bridge position with my arms. Good. Breathe. 5. Good. Feel that burn. 2 and 1. Stay here on the inhale. And I kept my hands there to just really drive in that this is a plank. So what, it's not on your arms. It doesn't matter. And I really can't stand when people say, I'm not strong. I can't do push-ups. Neither can I. And I don't really care. I do them off my knees. Lower the arms down. Whenever I do them off my toes, I feel like my body weight is just too heavy for the chest. And I don't want my chest to be dominant. So I love them off my knees because I feel back, core, a little bit stretched to my quads because my knees are bent. And I feel my chest muscles not struggling to keep the body in place. But you will see me do a lot of planking, just not a lot of push-ups. That's why there's hardly any push-ups in my routines. So now you know. All right, so let's grab the ball with your inner leg. Earlier was between the feet for leg extension. Now it's in between the inner leg. We're going to have our hands behind the head. And we're just going to flex in. I like to fully pick the ball up. I like to release it back down. This is where I'm going to really struggle in my rib cage. Okay, exhale. And because I stand all kinds of ways. I actually stand posteriorly tilted, sometimes anteriorly tilted, but my tendency is anterior tilt, which is like a big arch to the back, and then larger glutes. And so my back will want to arch here. So I have to work really hard to keep my back flat, and especially in the lower chamber of this drop down with the legs. Exhale. Exhale. Breathing out. You can hear it. Hopefully you're enjoying the new mic. I'm really working deeply, drawing in on the pelvic floor, tightening the Kegel muscles, and return it back down. You can really feel those, okay? And then from here, relaxing the shoulders back down. I definitely, through filming, that's how I actually correct my form. I use spatial awareness on the mat. I make sure I'm even on the mat. Okay, from here, we're going to do a long bridge. And again, palms up or down or up, but firmly up. Do you know that your tricep straightens your elbow? Okay. Whenever we say, look at how strong I am, we show the bicep. I mean, that's your bicep. So flex it, and there's your bicep. Extend it, there's your tricep. So do you know that you could just tone the back of your arms from straightening them? Okay, so when you're like here and your fascia is so tight and you're not fully extending your joints, I don't have a load, but even if I did have a light tension, you can straighten your elbow without like punching and locking it. So here's it locked. Okay, I'm still doing bridges, by the way. Here's it firmly straight. They're two totally different things. Locked. Like I'm locking into my elbow joint. That like actually hurts. And here I'm just straightening it. But you can see my tendency would be here. But everyone wants to tone the back of the arms. I just say straighten them. That's all I say to my clients. Exhale. I love doing this one. So this is another one I'll do for a long period of time, like while I watch my shows. If your knees hurt, this might not be for you. Don't So my legs are straight again. Same thing. Like your joint, your elbow joint is like your knee joint. They do the same things, right? So don't lock into them. Can you see how I'm like hyperextending them like a ballet dancer? You don't want to do that. Okay, that is too extreme. That's why a lot of dancers get injured. Anyway, softly bend those legs, but I don't have them bent, right? So exhale. So now you're learning. Listen, if you don't want to learn, my videos aren't for you. But in any case, and you're bridging while you're learning. So okay. And last one. We did like, I don't know, maybe 25. And then roll the spine down. Again, all of these can be done with your arms supported down. Remember not to lock your joints, but to elongate them, use them. Okay. So we're going to come up and go into some extension-based exercises. So if you watch my videos, I always do the XW. And I'm about to right now, but I'm going to do it in a glute contracted position. And I'm going to reach my arms. I'm pretty neutral, I hope. That's what I would like. My ribs are going to be pulled in and watch for popping. Okay. Then I'm going to reach out and I'm going to pull back into my XW. You see this in every video. Okay. I firmly believe in an XW before you start any workout. And some mobility specialists will have you hang from a bar above. I don't have that here. There isn't one usually in the Pilates studio. So I simulate gliding the scapula down and up through an XW motion. It's what I feel is similar. What you want to be careful of is you're feeling your low thoracic down where your lumbar meets. I believe you're coming up too high in extension. So I want you to lower that back down. Okay, and exhale, pull, and then return. You can do one-armed. You've seen that before. Okay, it's in my last video. You could do two arms, all right? And then you can just soften the knees and rest over the ball. And just relax. I will tell my clients until further notice, you need to stay where you are. A lot of people will come right back up and look at me. What's next? Nothing's next. I'm not going to tell you a single thing to do. Get back into your stretch. 30 to 90 seconds, especially if you're tight, should be 90 seconds. So relax the shoulders back and down. This should feel amazing after a long day, either on your tablets, on your computer systems, whatever you use, or maybe looking at your kids all day, which maybe you haven't been doing for a really long time because they've been in school. Okay. Now, some variations for extension. You can do them on your knees, but I tend to feel like I'm going to slide back, but I'll show a couple. But I feel like my knees slip. So unless I have a wall, I prefer to do it off my toes. That's just me, but you can do bent knee options. So you can flex in the ribs and exhale, extend in the ribs. I'm just going to do a couple of these variations, but these are great for your low back and glutes. Exhale. I'll do an exercise that I brought back recently. So we're going to hold here. We're going to reach out to the T shape. Guys, T is not back here. Do you remember the dotted lines when we were in like grade school and you got good grades for drawing within the lines? Can you please apply that to yourself now? I don't know why it's okay. We let all that go. So I tell my clients, we reach out. If I say T, it is 3 and 9 on a clock. It is shoulder to shoulder. It is not back here. It's not up here. It's not there. The wrist isn't moving. Do you know that when you move from the wrong area, something else wasn't mobile? And then lower back down. We lift. We reach. We hold the abs in because I want to take it out of that thoracic. I want to feel my glutes work. Draw back in. Do you know a posterior tilt works your glutes and your abs? And then we'll reach again. We'll switch, and then we'll lower a little bit. And we'll exhale, lift, and then we'll reach. We'll switch the sides, and then we'll lower a little. Squeeze those glutes. Exhale, lift, and then we reach, and then we switch, and we lower. And then one more time. Exhale, lift. Exhale, reach. And then we switch, and then we lower. And then roll slowly out of it. If you do a child's pose, the ball is a great option. Roll it out. Bring it over to the left. And I have these famous lines, and although I'm not famous, one of them is, we're not here for no reason. Sometimes when I pause people to stretch, again, I said it earlier, it's like, stay in that stretch. I mean, like, we so need it. So just take it into the stretch. But it's like we can't figure out why we're pausing, because life has been just go forward life, and then roll it up one vertebrae at a time. And I want to challenge you that, didn't life just say, no more, nada, no way? We're pausing. Yeah, it sure did. And I'm saying the same thing. Guys, take your time to explore your stretching. And that gets into a whole nother level of teaching that I don't do, which is fascia training and fascia release and exploring into the fascia movement, because fascia has more memory than even muscle. So yeah, we foam roll, great. Why are we tight the next day? Because you know what, the fascia just goes back to the way it was. So if we do it every day, we can strengthen the body in a better way, and we can take our time to have the body memorize where we should be in space forever. But it takes a really long time to do that. We don't have time. With busy schedules, moms, we do not have time, at least in my practice and my clients, to do a lot of the fascia work. So I try to incorporate it, where exhale, obviously lifting the legs and lowering, and you could see me really struggling because I went on my weaker side first. And I'm just lifting the legs. But we do what we can to try to elongate as we exercise so that we're in a better functional way and we're not in shortened positions. Exhale, lift, roll the shoulders. I have a lot of really strong beliefs about exercise and how to do it and how to do it safely. And although I'm having a lot of trouble with this one, but you know what, I told a class earlier today that I like that I can't do everything, and I show you that like I'm human, and so like you feel like you can work on something with me. Exhale, lift. I'm not perfectly straight in the center of my mat. You should be. I'll tell you why. It's really hard to figure out where I am in space against the camera's sort of diagonal and the mat's diagonal to the room. Spatial awareness is really important. So I get that. You can see I struggle a lot with this exercise. And I have been struggling on this left side due to an old injury in my right hip. Exhale. But hopefully if you're doing this at home with me, you're like, oh my God, I'm struggling too. And, but on my left side, especially with straight legs, I usually need a kickstand hand. Last one. And I usually need a kickstand leg, which would mean if I put this down, I would need that leg behind me. But then I couldn't lift the ball, right? Okay, so we're going to come up. We're going to switch our sides. You can come up however you want. That wasn't the most graceful way to come up. A lot of my clients will say to me, that's not the most graceful way. It's like, no big deal, whatever. Keep things soft if you can. Now, I don't know. I am having not as much trouble getting into the middle of the mat, at least from what I can see. On this side, but this is my stronger side. Bottom ribs are lifted, shoulders back and down. You guys will see a big difference in my side. Okay, making sure like a skewer. Okay, I definitely need my kickstand hand. Do you see how unstable I am when I don't have it? Exhale, lift, and then lower. Roll the shoulders. Good. Exhale, lift, and lower. Just make sure when you're at home, if I'm not perfectly straight on the mat, I am trying to look at the symbols in the mirror, in the iPad camera, but you can use spatial awareness at home, being back up against a couch if you need to, or a wall. I don't have a wall space. I have something in my apartment from every inch of every wall. It's nuts. There's no wall space. I'm a collector. That's why it took me so long. Now I'll be filming a few videos for Vimeo for the club, but it took me a really long time to put everything away and have it look just like a very clean space, because I just have a lot of knickknacks, like my mom. Exhale, lift,
I'll tell you right now, this is so much easier for me. I'm not falling over as much. And last one. Okay, so that's such a nice exercise. You should be doing it with the bottom ribs lifted off the mat and trying to. Yes, some skin or body might touch, but you're trying to keep it off the mat. So I'll show you getting up again. I had to bend this knee to show you guys I usually use a kickstand, and it actually felt like a pretty useful way to come up. Sometimes I can take it into all kinds of mermaid positions, but I'm going to do those in a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit more side lying variations or side kneeling variations. These are specifically for people who have been injured. So if you can't be on your arm and you want to, so I don't know if you could see how I just kind of fell into the ball to the side. You can either have this arm down. I don't like my palm turned in. I do like it out, sort of to the external rotation. If that felt more comfortable to you, you could. I guess that's neutral as well. Just don't turn it in. I just think I feel better that way, a little more externally rotated, but you can see how you feel. Your hand could be down by your side, or you can hold the ball. But I am working on, I have like a side bend into the ball, and my head needs to be neutral. A lot of people try to put their head vertical. Why? Because we don't understand where we are in space when we are lateral, because we don't walk around like that. So if you watch someone exercise, you would know right away, something looks off. They look going that way, but the head looks going up. So you want to keep that nice long line, the integrity to the spine from the skull all the way to the sacrum. Now I'm going to internally rotate this leg. I'm going to use my ball, and I'm going to exhale, lift my leg. Okay, and lower. So now this is specifically, I really don't have weight on this arm. It's like down, but the ball's really holding me here. So now my clients, I don't know what took me so long, guys. I'm really sorry. I've been sort of busy for like 25 years. Grad school, college, dog sitting, Sadie, the whole deal. Having my career, and now because of COVID, I have a moment to think. I have a moment to breathe, and I have a moment to actually create, because I'm not running around. I'm just like here. So this is really soft. Now what you can also do is hug. Now what people are going to say is, but my neck hurts. So you can hold, hug or hold. All right, so you just put a little bit of a neutral fingertip to the side of the head, okay? Now, I can do this without straining, but I am getting tired. So we're going to do backwards leg circles. 1. And then I think if your hand is down, it does help the load of the neck. Let me show you one other option. You can hold here. But you can see my head wanting to lift up so badly. Don't let it. Put a mirror in front of you. Do whatever you have to do. Train with a trainer who will tell you your head's up and your rest of your body is horizontal. Okay, so we did some backwards leg circles. I feel very strongly about backwards circles only. We already live in a forward world. We don't need to use the hip flexor that way. If your physical therapist told you you have to strengthen your hip flexor, you can come and talk to me, and I'll talk to them, and we'll figure out a plan. But otherwise, we need more glutes. Now, I'm going to do some hamstring curls. Okay? I'm still soft on this hand. I have a little bit more weight in the hand now that I'm not using my kickstand hand. And then again, I could go to, oh my gosh, this might be it. Listen, play around. I just was doing this with a client, and I said, oh my God, I have to film afterwards. This is actually really hard, the double and the arm, because it's actually loading my oblique. And when I make these faces and talk like this, that's what it means, guys. This is really challenging. I'm feeling it right here. This might be my new favorite, but I have a lot of favorites. Now pulse backwards. 2, 3, 4, 5. When my hair gets messy and my bun's a mess, it's hard. 7 and 8, we're going to go down and up. Now, my leg is slightly behind the other, down and up. Now, you could go down and out, right? Down and out. Oh, my God. But I just kept it down and up. And if you can see right now, I'm in a curtsy down and up. But listen, I told you already there were going to be a lot of variations that I'll film. This video so far, since I said that, we're close to 45 minutes. I will be editing out. And then if your neck needs that help, what about clam? Oh my God, we can clam it. Bang, zipping up. I just made that up. Well, I mean, I'm sure it's done. It's not like I'm the first person to do it, but for my clients, they've never done it. 4,
3. Now, when you see other instructors with it, you know where they got it. Last one. Now, I said I was going to show you a mermaid. My clients are like, what about merman? Listen, that's fine too. You want to call it a merman? Exhale, side bend and stretch. What I call this is a level 2 mermaid. When you're level 1, you're like ground. Level 2 can either be all the way up on your arm or into a forearm position. So because we took it up to an elevation, I'm calling it a level 2 mermaid with a leg and mermaid. So we're getting this really nice stretch. Like, I could stay here and I could go this way. I could turn my leg in, I can turn my leg out. It's like whatever you feel, take your time. Okay, you can get into one leg kneeling variations with the ball. Bang, done. I'm not going to do a ton today, but like it is endless. This is why I am really working with my clients to get these balls. And honestly, I haven't really used them a lot because of space in a gym. Like you're limited. So now that you're home, you're not. Now let me tell you, this is my strong side. I feel like $1,000,000. I'm like, dang, I'm not gonna have to hold my head, nothing. Right? Exhale, lift. But I might need to modify. I should modify it about the same time. But then again, we did so many variations that, I mean, I'm solid here. I really have no business even doing this side, to be honest. Roll the shoulders back and down. It's just my stronger stability side. My hip injury is in my low back right side. My obliques on the left have just really learned to kick in and fire so that this side can have a break, is how I describe it. I don't know if that's exactly true, but bang, I mean, I feel like I can talk to you, I can let go, and the other side I was like struggling on the neck too. But this side is my neck is the one that's always bugging me. So if you look, it's like this neck, this shoulder, and then it goes into that lumbar spine. So exhale, lift and lower. So you saw the different variations. Ribs are in, I'm trying. I gotta work on that. I tell my clients, oh my God, I filmed yesterday. This is all wrong. Don't do it like me and go backwards. 2, 3, 4, hug. 5, 6. I don't need it. 7 and 8, but it does give you a resistance. It's harder when your arm is up here because now you have how much your arm weighs. Curl it in and out on the exercise, on the oblique. So I actually feel like this is pretty challenging, but it also stabilizes the neck. There are a few times when something that is your modification actually makes the exercise like better and harder. But a lot of the times, if you don't modify, the exercise is harder in a bad way to you. People really resist modifying, and just by chance, Bodiphy, partly body and fill, sounds like modify. I mean, it's just part of the brand. Because when you modify for your Bodiphy, your body, you are actually doing what's deeper and better for it anyway, and it's more efficient. Exhale, pulse it back. 2. I really like this arm position because it holds your neck nice and stable. 6, 7, and 8. Now I showed a couple of different variations. You can choose which one. Like let's say you turn this on tomorrow. You'll be like, Phil London, you talk too much here. Well, I'm not turning this on, or if I do, I'm putting you on mute. Put me on mute. You can choose which one you want. I showed a curtsy, which is slightly behind. I showed a down and up. This is not a clam, guys. Can you see my legs shaking? Down and up. This is not a clam yet. This is a abductor away from the midline leg lift in neutral, okay, with a bent knee. Now, I also did some kickouts, right? If you want to do a curtsy and a kick out, go for it. Whichever one. Oh my God, guys, I'm sweating. Partly because I don't have an air conditioning in this room, but partly because I'm working hard. And just because I filmed, I got a freaking great workout in. This is amazing. Now here we go. Now we're going into this clam. This might be my new favorite exercise. Relaxing the shoulders back and down. And we're gonna go for 4 more and breathe. 3 more and breathe. So Claire, honestly, this was actually designed for you because when I was doing it with a client, I'm like, this is such a good option for you.
And then you can feel like you're in side bridge and not hurt your arm. And then lower back down. And open. Open. And release. Breathe. Hold. Take it across and stretch. Guys, that was challenging. And breathe. And then we took it back to center just to do a couple of these here. So we're going to flex it forward. And then one more time. I'm just going to take that same variation that I showed you before. That feels like amazing to the body here. And we're going to hinge it back. So guys, if you wanted, I'm just hinging, doing a one-legged hinge and then out. Good. All right, so what ended up being me saying I'm just going to do a few exercises, and listen, there are so many more I could do. I could stay here for endless amounts of hours. This is already like 30 minutes, and I have a bunch of other clips. My brand, I hope, teaches you how to use your body correctly, teaches you how not to beat your body up, and hopefully that's why you enjoy working out with me and I understand you and maybe I can help you. In any case, let me know how these exercises go for you. And I will be showing a lot more. This was just a few variations that I love to do at the end of my day.